All right, man, it's that time. It's fall. It's time for the fall update. And I'm going to be moving my screens around here because I need to give some proper thank you to our clients that have been referring us. So I got a long list: Drew, Freddie, Lindsay, Jose, Tim, Jamie, Stephanie, man, Dave, Marcy, Saeed, Jeff, Magdi, Melissa, Anjanette, Katie, Samantha, Martha, Burl, Francesca. Man, thank you all so much. Christy, Dan, Nisha, and Cynthia. Wow. Thank you all so much for the referrals. I mean, that's how we stay in business and keep providing the referrals and the information that we do. So thank you. I'm also going to flip screens again, too, to give you a quick market update. So the opportunity right now that we've been seeing is the listings have been coming to market a little bit more. So we've seen inventory rise a little bit. Sales have come down. Let's see, last month it was, let me get my real numbers here. Close to, let's see, it was 5,900 closed transactions. Now that's down 18% from last year, which was 7,000. So less purchases, obviously mostly rate driven, not 100%, but mostly. And what we're seeing right now is because of that, it's about 48% of purchases right now have seller concessions. And the average is $8,000. So when you think about it, now that also includes cash. So if we remove the cash, which is over 20%, you're probably closer to 70-ish% have seller concessions. So because we're seeing that inventory ticking up, that gives the buyers an advantage to negotiate with the sellers for those houses maybe staying on the market and say, hey, I would like to get the seller to pay my closing costs. Now, you got to think in this environment right now, we're able to ask for those concessions. That keeps cash in your checking account. Versus when rates start to come down, demand ticks back up, the inventory starts coming down, the sales are going up, we're going to see the closing costs go away. That'll happen first. First, the number will go down. So from an average of 8,000, that dollar amount will start to come down. Then that will completely go away. And then we're going to see that bid over ask that we saw. You know, they say history repeats itself. It often rhymes. And so when I look at this, I'm thinking in the future, there's going to be two frenzies going on. There's going to be the people that figured out how to buy now and get in the game and gain all this appreciation that are then going to be, they're just waiting for the refinance. And there's going to be a frenzy of all those people that hit us up and say, hey, it's time to refinance, and we're going to refinance. But then there's that other pool, the other frenzy that's going to happen. And those are the people that decided to wait. They were waiting for those rates to come down to get that payment to a certain number that they're comfortable with, to not wait, to not get in the game early, that are missing out on the appreciation until that refinance happens, that are going to then have to dig into that checking account and have the money to pay those closing costs, and may have to dig into the checking account even more to bid over the asking price for the property. So I'd much rather be in, and this is me too, I'm looking for homes right now. I'd rather be in the frenzy of waiting to refinance, gaining all of the appreciation in my new house, versus I'm missing out on the appreciation and I'm just going in for this house where now I'm having a bunch of people going in on the same property. I lived it 3 years ago and it is just emotional. It is heartbreaking and it's financially debilitating. I mean, can you imagine right now if I was to get the $8,000? Great. I offset my closing costs. Maybe I get a little bit extra and do that 2-1 buy down, 1-1 buy down, 3-2-1 buy down, all those temporary offsets from my payment. And I get that. And I save all that money versus dipping in and coming out of pocket so much. I'd rather save the money and have that cushion in my bank account to support the payment until the refinance. So I'm not telling people they must buy right now. I'm just saying if it's possible, I would get in the game. I was talking to a client that decided to wait in January. She said, hey, life got in the way. And to be honest, I thought rates were going to come down and I thought prices were going to come down. And the complete opposite happened. Rates went up and prices went up. And so when we looked in the area that she was looking at, houses had gone up about 1% per month. So this was August. So 8 months had gone by. her $500,000 house had gone up to $535,000 in value. And so she lost out on 35 grand of equity. She also had been paying $3,000 a month for rent. And so she paid $24,000 to the landlord's equity. And so that's literally like a $60,000 miss. And so I said, man, I would feel bad if it happens to you again. Like, let's get qualified. Let's get you in the game. And look, some of my clients are having to go into different areas. Some are having to drive an extra 20 minutes. I mean, back in 2000 and let's see, 8, 9-ish, my wife and I moved from Old Town Scottsdale to Cave Creek, which for those of you who are local here know that that's a long way away. Like, I was driving 25, 30 minutes to work every day. And yes, it got old, but that house went from 500-ish to 800-ish over the year during the run up. And we were able to sell that one and then move about 15 minutes closer. And then again, we moved about 10 minutes closer. And then we moved about 5 minutes closer. And now I'm back to where I needed to be. But that's 1, 2, 3 houses later, I'm in the one. But I was using all this equity that I was getting from the houses to get into the current one. And so there's a long-term strategy with real estate, not just to accumulate wealth, but for yourself. And now the house I'm in now is worth way more than the first house. So I'm gaining much more appreciation month over month in this house while I'm living there, plus my rental property and et cetera. So most of you that are watching this are clients of mine that are already in homes that have appreciated all this equity. Maybe there's a strategy for you to get into another house. Maybe it's the bigger house, higher value that's going to appreciate even more. Because let's be honest, the $500,000 house appreciates differently than the $800,000 house, than the $1 million house. So these are all strategies that I think about. Also think about maybe there's an opportunity to use the equity that you have to go into a rental property. And there's some cool programs out right now. One of them in specific is the loan is not approved unless it pencils out. Meaning, if the rents don't equal the mortgage payment or exceed the mortgage payment, it's not a deal. That's how you qualify for that loan. So if you have the down payment, which you can pull out of your current primary, and you can put down on the investment property, your rents that you can be making, give me the extra revenue. I guarantee in 5 or 10 years, you'll be very thankful that you watched this video, picked up the phone and called me and pulled the trigger on that. Because now you're sitting here with a rental property that's got appreciation. Someone else has paid down the mortgage. There's definitely some tax benefits there. And then the question is, how do I just replicate that? And that's literally your retirement. All right. So look, if you have any questions on what's happening with the market, where are the interest rates, what should I be doing with my home? Should I be leveraging some of that equity? Should I look into a vacation home for myself that's always also a rental, which is what I did? Should I look for a long-term rental, which is what I'm doing right now? These are all questions that are great just to have a conversation with. We don't have to, take an app, get your tax returns and do all that stuff. Like that's an afterthought. Let's talk about the strategy of your long-term building of wealth through real estate and ultimately retirement. All right. Well, hey, thank you again for being a client of mine. I really appreciate it. Thank you to all the people that continue to support me and send us referrals. Thank you so much. I know it's a crazy market, but it's only crazy if you just watch it go by. There's definitely an opportunity here that not many people are taking advantage of, and I hope that you do. Take care.